guys, this is Dana, and this is episode number 55 of the Ask a Question Show, the show in which you ask a question about any type of narcissistic or otherwise abusive or toxic relationship or situation, and I, along with the rest of the community here, will do our very best to help answer it. Our goal is to give you the feedback and the support that you need so that you can move forward in getting all of the clarity, closure, and healing possible. And today's question comes from Anonymous, and Anonymous asks, Dear Dana, how do I cope with the insecurities planted after a narcissistic relationship? My thinking has become so flawed, I've lost track of what reality really looks like. I've even lost track of what a normal relationship with my kids, my parents, and my new girlfriend should look like. Any insight you have is much appreciated. Okay, great question. And there's about 4 different main points that I want to cover here. And the first one is the fact that I love the way that you framed this question. Loved it. And the reason I love it so much is because you used the wording that you've got insecurities that have been planted after this toxic relationship, which means that you're not claiming these as your own, right? You're realizing these insecurities have been planted by, these toxic insecurities have been planted by this toxic relationship with this toxic person, right? So that's really, really promising. And I would encourage anybody that's kind of watching this video to start reframing things to yourself in those exact same ways, in that exact same way. So the idea of, I have insecurities that have been planted by, this toxic person or this toxic situation, because there's power there. Once we realize that something's been planted, that we haven't planted it, especially if we haven't planted it ourselves. If something toxic has been planted, the cool thing is we are kind of the master gardener of our life. And so you have that power to then go through and uproot those weeds, uproot those insecurities and that toxicity in your life and replant with something different. Okay, so this brings me to my next point, which is kind of how do we do that, right? I would encourage you to use the power of visualization. So visualize yourself kind of walking down this garden path, and you're looking around and you're like, wow, this is a really great garden. There's lots of, flowers and bushes and shrubs and, plants that are blooming, and there's lots of things that are beautiful and make you feel good. Okay. And you're kind of walking through, but you notice there's a few weeds here and there. And you kind of tell yourself, yeah, I need to maybe spend some more time in here. Okay. And then you see a sign that says Memory Lane. And it also has at the bottom of it your name, and the name of your former partner. And so you make a left onto Memory Lane. And so you're walking down the path of Memory Lane that was your relationship with this person. And you're looking around and you notice, wow, there are a lot of really toxic, poisonous plants that have been planted in this garden. But you also realize, because you are the master gardener, you have the tools necessary to take care of this and to get this garden back into the condition that you want it to be in. And so you have this gardening belt on, okay? And so in that gardening belt, you have a roll of, hefty garbage sacks. And then you have a pair of gloves. And you have a packet of seeds that are seeds of like positivity and empowerment, right? And you have your weeding tool. And so you realize, okay, I've got the tools necessary. Now I'm going to get to work. And so you're identifying these weeds, and as you're uprooting them, you're examining them, and you're telling yourself, okay, this is the toxic plant or insecurity that is the idea that I'm a bad parent, or that I'm unattractive, or that I'm not worthy, kind of whatever that weed is. And you're taking it and then you're throwing it in your garbage sack, and then you're pulling out one of your seeds that you're going to plant that tells yourself, and again, getting as specific as you can, this is the seed that I am a good parent, and this is why I'm a good parent. I'm a good parent because I catch my kids doing things right. I give my children compliments. I tell them, kiddo, you did a really great job with getting your homework done before 8 o'clock. Or, hey, kiddo, you did a really great job. I didn't even have to remind you to go hop in the shower. Or, you know what, kiddo, you did a great job with getting up on time today. Or, or if you have issues with, you're feeling attractive, I am attractive because I, you know, kind of whatever. I did this, I'm a good person. That's an easier one for me to deal with. I'm a good person. So I'm a good person because I held the door open for that woman today when I was at the bank. Or I always go out of my way to listen to my friends or to be there for my friends. Or I make it a point to, take my children's concerns seriously. If kind of whatever seeds that you feel that you need to replant in those areas that you've uprooted the weeds. Okay, this brings me to the other point. You mentioned, and actually, real quick before I go on to that, the cool thing too with using that analogy of the garden path is you can also create different lanes, not just for that one relationship, but for anything in your life. So any kind of traumatic incident of any kind, something that happened to you in high school or when you were 5 or when you were in 5th grade, or your divorce or kind of what have you. You can make up different lanes for that, and then you can visualize yourself going down them and examining kind of what insecurities are growing there that you don't want there, that you need to uproot and plant something else. This is also, I think, maybe even kind of a fun exercise that you could do with kids too. So just throwing that out there. Okay, next point. You mentioned that you've lost track of what reality looks like. Totally understandable that you would feel this way, because it sounds like you are kind of straddling two different realities, right? You've got the reality of kind of what's going on now, which is you're questioning what's normal because you have all of these insecurities that are from this relationship. And so I don't think that you can, or should you even try to fix your old reality and focus on your old reality. I vote you just get rid of that and then cultivate a brand new reality that's much more empowering and much more positive. Because here's the thing with normal, because you mentioned you don't know what a normal relationship is with your kids, your parents, your girlfriend. Normal to me is a synonym for mediocrity. It's just kind of the status quo, and nothing really exciting or beneficial comes from like normal. So I would say get rid of your normal reality and do something totally different. This is a huge opportunity for you to really just grow a bunch of new things in that garden of your mind, in that garden of your life. And so with these new relationships that you're going to be cultivating, to really focus on, okay, don't aim for normal, aim for something that's, empowering, inspiring, and energizing, and that just absolutely juices you, and get really excited and focused on what it would mean to have an amazing relationship with your kids, and a super exciting and passionate and loving and nurturing and empowering relationship with your girlfriend. And just like turn up the volume on that, turn up like the brightness, and get out of kind of that like gray monotone, normalcy, which is blah, right? Get excited, get just technicolor, like get up there, get healthy, get amazing with these relationships in your life. So that's what I have for you. I'll be really curious to see what everybody else has to say. As always, let's continue the conversation down below in the comments. And as always, lots of love to you guys. You're not alone, you're not crazy, and you really can heal from all of this. So take care, and I'll talk to you soon. Bye.